Thank you so much for joining us, Michael. Truly a pleasure once again to be speaking with you.
Yes, I'm delighted to be here. Thank you.
You know, you've spoken a lot about the old advertising model being redundant in the new scheme of things. My question to you is, so what would be the new model?
I think the new model is what we call open architecture, and that is clients are entitled to the best IPG has to offer in terms of our services. So we're totally client-centric, and it's not necessarily by silo. So it should be media, it should be experiential, it should be PR, it should be creative. And which of the disciplines and which agency participates in it is a function of what's best for the client.
So what you're essentially saying is you're going back to the full service model.
We've always been there, but it's always been through a silo. So if you look at the history of our industry, we have these huge global networks, and the global networks were one-stop shopping. They had a lot of these disciplines within it. And clients are realizing that it could be that agency is capable of delivering all those disciplines. But if we have other assets within IPG that may be better suited for the client, we should be in a position to be able to bring those to bear.
But then doesn't that typically go against the entire concept of conflict?
So we don't use same people, and sometimes we use different agencies to make sure that there is no conflict. But of course, conflict is a factor we have to deal with.
Michael, just want to go back to a conversation we've had in the past, last time we met on, all eyes on IPG in terms of, looking at a possible acquisition.
Right.
Where's that stand today? Are you in conversation with anybody? Is anybody in conversation with you? Are you being seduced? And has your stance changed?
My stance has always been the same, and that is what's ever in the best interest of our shareholders. I think probably the last time I was talking to you about this, our stock price was probably $15 a share. Now we're at $24.50. I don't want to jinx that. But I think you should be asking me the question, who are we buying, not who's buying us.
Who are you buying?
Right now, I just answered that.
I want to talk to you about, the remuneration structure for media agencies, right?
Yes.
And how you're looking at a pay-per-performance model.
Yes.
Is that working for you? Are you attempting to move there?
Yeah, we've been attempting to move there for a while. In fact, a number of our media clients have a pay-per-performance component, not the total compensation. And the reason it's on the media side of the business is because it's easier to measure in terms of savings, for example, and we get compensated if we deliver certain amounts of savings and so on. But I would say maybe 50% of our media contracts have some form of pay for performance within it.
But that would be on certain buckets.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But is the attempt to move the entire?
Frankly, I would like to move the entire, but I think it's highly unlikely that clients are prepared to do that.
But what you're essentially saying in this model is that if you do not deliver, you don't get paid, right?
That would be the ultimate model, yes. And
isn't that very risky for you?
Or as long as there's a return for the risk, there's nothing wrong with it if you deliver. But we're not at that stage. Clients aren't willing to do it, and frankly, a lot of companies are not.
When you say savings, right? You need to deliver, and use for the client. Is there a conversation where clients are telling you that, forget about the savings, but let's look at final effectiveness in the marketplace?
Well, the components of the savings versus effectiveness, those could be two different issues. And again, it's what the contract and what the clients are looking for. We can structure contracts which are priced based on effectiveness. We can structure contracts which are based on total dollar savings, or a combination of the two. So
let me come to the next, contentious issue, which is really the state of, the transparency issue amongst, media companies, and the conversation and debate that's currently taking place between, of course, clients and media agencies. What is your take on it in the first place?
So all of our contracts provide levels of auditing capabilities and transparency. We don't have rebates unless clients direct where those rebates should be. And frankly, clients in some markets where they're legal, clients want us to get rebates, but they want their share of the rebates, and it's dealt with in our contracts. So I don't have any problems with transparency. and we don't take digital inventory, a position in
Sure.
that we own and then sell to our clients. We act on behalf of our clients. So I know there's a lot of noise about it, but I'm totally comfortable with what IPG is doing in the marketplace.
When you say that you don't, you don't hold digital inventory, is that in a way, I mean, while it's a good ethical practice, do you think in a way it hurts you because you might, other agencies, other media companies may be able to deliver that in a much cheaper manner than you?
Well, they're not delivering it in a cheaper manner. It's a difference in terms of what pocket the costs go. I believe there's an inherent conflict in that if we're supposed to be representing our client, it's difficult to represent our clients on a purely agnostic point of view when we have an economic interest in part of what we're placing the money in for.
And your clients are okay with it?
Actually, a lot of our clients prefer what we do.
Oh, okay. You talk about the fact that you have an advice model.
Yes.
This is what you mean by an advice model, right?
We do have a barter system, and the barter system does, in fact, buy inventory in anticipation on behalf of our client. But that's a different part of our business.
So WPP is invested in a lot of technology, as you know. Do you see that as a potential conflict area, and is IPG looking at investing in a lot of ad tech going forward?
We take small investments in some startups, nothing of the size that WPP has done, and clients understand that if I don't like to talk about our competitors, so they
talk about you.
Well, that's what they do. My view is very simple. If clients are willing to assume that they're acting on their behalf, even though they have an economic interest in the outcome of where the money goes, they have to make that decision. I do believe that there potentially is a conflict there, but it's up to the.
Why do you think that?
Because it's motivation, and if I'm making more money here versus there, and I'm representing you, how would you like me to? Would you like me to be faced with the issue of where that money goes? So, and I understand if there's transparency on it, why should you matter as a client? I'd rather not be put in that position as an agnostic provider of services. So our clients know that we are acting on their behalf, period.
How would you comment on the current economic environment? Would you say that a lot of global advertisers have become ultra cautious and have cut back tremendously, and this started off post the 2008 crisis, but we haven't really recovered?
Well, no. First of all, you have to look at it geographically. There are certain regions that are having difficulty. Brazil, for example. For a while there, we were having double-digit growth in Brazil. Obviously, we're not expecting that now. The United States has solid growth, not double-digit growth, low single-digit growth, or middle single-digit growth in our case. And that's a good environment for us to operate in. We see India having nice growth. China, although is challenged, still has growth in it. And Europe markets are starting to come back a little bit. So again, business isn't fantastic. We're not seeing growth throughout the world on an equal basis, but business is okay.
Okay. How was 2015 for you? It must have been very hard given just the number of reviews that were on the table. How did you come out of that?
We had one of our best years ever in 2015. We were net positive on the new business reviews. We expanded margin over 100 basis points. We outperformed our peer companies in terms of organic revenue, and our share price performed well.
If I had to look at your creative agency business and your media side, which one is more of a star performer?
Well, right now, obviously, media is very hot in the marketplace, and our media businesses are performing very well. Frankly, our other agencies are performing very well at the same time, which is why we're performing the way we are. But right now, media seems to be the hot item in our business.
On that note, thank you so much, Michael.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure. Thank you.